Hey there, I'm your host Lisowi, and this is part 1 of the crafting system. In this series, we'll go ahead and cover how to create a grid-style-like crafting system. So with that said, let's begin. For this project, you're going to need some items and some icons. Now in the content drawer, I have already set up a assets folder in which I have those, so I have items, their icons, and so on. So with this out of the way, we first need to set up item data to be able to create the items we need, for the recipes we need, for the items that we want to craft. So with that, we want to right click and create a new folder. I'll place everything inside the inventory folder just to keep it organized. Inside here, we'll create another folder called item data. And let's open this up. First, we'll right click and go to blueprint and create a structure. We'll call it S for structure underscore inventory slot. So this will be the unique ID and the item quantity that each slot possesses. So we'll add another variable. We'll have a name and a integer. So for the name, we'll do item ID. Item ID. And we'll do then the item quantity. Item quantity. There we go. Save that and exit. Now we then want to create another structure for the item details. So let's right click, blueprint, structure, S underscore item details. And this will be the unique properties that each item has. So for example, you want maybe a name, the icon, description, quantity, sound effects, etc. You add basically whatever you want in here. Now for our purpose, we only need 3 things. We want the item name. We want the item icon to be able to visually identify what this is. So item icon. And lastly, we want to add the item stack size, so the maximum amount this item can go to. Now for the item name, we want to set this as a texture or text, my bad. Then item icon, you want this to be a texture 2D. This guy here, object reference, you can just click here. And the item stack size, which you want to be an integer. Once you're happy, save and exit this. Now with those 2 created, we want to go ahead and create the data table for our items. So right click, go to miscellaneous or search. We can do data table. There we go. And we can select the S underscore item details and hit OK. Let's call it DT for data table underscore item data. And this will essentially have all the items in your game, including the craftable items. We'll create a separate table for the recipes. So in here, we can add a few things. I have 4 things in our project here. So we'll have the stick, the iron sword, and the iron shield. So their own name is going to be the unique item ID used for that. So we'll do double click and do stick. Now you can go ahead and do stick underscore 01, 00, depending how many items you have. Just structure it according to yourself. We'll do stick. Then another one will be iron ingot. I'll just call them by what they actually are. We'll do iron sword and the iron shield. So in here, you want to go ahead, and this is where you'd kind of use the assets. So for example, stick. We'll just call it stick. That's all it is. We'll get the icon, stick icon. And where are you? There you are. And the stack size. So I want the sticks to, for example, go up to 10. Kind of a light item. Then the iron ingot, we'll do iron space ingot. Again, get the icon, ingot, there we go. Now this is kind of heavy, so we'll just do 5. Then the iron sword, I'll just cap at 1. Iron sword, and we'll get the sword as well. There you go. And the shield, iron shield. And we'll cap it at 1 as well. And get the shield icon. So add in here as many items as you want and all the items that will be used to craft those items. Save and exit. With that out of the way, the next thing we need to set up is the item data component. And this will handle what item this is and the item quantity relevant to it. So let's right click and go to blueprint class and create a actor component. And we'll be adding this actor component to our parent of the item class. So let's call this BPC for blueprint component underscore item data. Open it. And once it's opened, we want two variables in here. So let's create a first one called item data or item table, whichever you like, whatever makes most sense to you. And we want this to be a data table row handle. Now with that, you could make this instance editable and expose on spawn. So what this will do, it'll expose this on the viewport here. If you click on your item, for example, just to give you a visual representation. So we'll need to create an item anyways. So in your inventory, just create a new folder called items. And in here, we'll create that item. So blueprint class, actor, and we want this to be called BP underscore item actor. And this will be the parent class for all your items in your game. So save it, open it. Now in here, we would actually go ahead and go to class setting, or actually no, just here, I'm getting confused. So in here, you'd go ahead and add your component, item data. And by making your item data component instance editable and exposed on spawn, this actually allows you to place your item in the world, click on the component and select what item this actually is. Now, because we're going to set these meshes per item, you don't have to do it. It's just something if you'd like to do. So we'll make that not instance editable and exposed on spawn, but we want the item quantity to be an integer. And this you want to be instance editable and exposed on spawn. Just in case you have an item selected and you want this to be of quantity 5, for example. So that's the use case scenario. Leave it at 1. So with that out of the way, for your item data, select a default table because that's what we'll use for all the items. Also, I should mention, set the item quantity to be default as 1 here, so that by default, every item is 1. Now let's compile and save. Let's go to the item actor that we have created, and let's go ahead and also select the default scene root and add a static mesh. So this will represent our items. So for the parent, it doesn't really matter what you add. I'll just add an iron ingot for the visual. And we can add a sphere collision to this. Now, with that mentioned, sphere collision, you can either use the item or the sphere collision for the interaction system. Now, I prefer the sphere collision just because if you have multiple items around, easier to detect, in my opinion. You can go in here and type in collision. And we want to create our own collision preset. We'll be using this for the interaction system in the next episode. So let's close this down, go to settings and open up the project settings. And in here, you want to type in trace. And this allows us to create our own interaction trace. So we'll do interactive. And you want the default response to be ignore, accept and close. With that done, let's return to our item. And in the collision presets option, we can switch this to custom. And by default, we made the interactive channel ignore, but we want this to be block. Now, if you don't see this, simply compile and save it again, and it should show up. So with that there, we can go ahead and go to the event graph. And we don't really have anything to add in here as such just yet. So we can go ahead and create the children for this. So let's right click and do create child blueprint class. So in here, you want to, for example, create your first one. So we'll press F2 to rename. And we want this to be item underscore iron ingot. So with the children, what you'll do is you'll double click it, select your item data component and select the item data. Now select your row name. So this is the unique ID. So we want this to be the iron ingot. And there you go. That's all you got to do. And you'd also want to set the mesh. Now, because this is an iron ingot, we don't have to. So I'll go ahead and show you one more. We'll right click on the child and duplicate, not the parent. That's not what you want to do. And we'll do iron, or we'll do stick, item stick. So double click that, open the full blueprint view, click on your item data and select stick. Now go to the viewport, and in here you want to select the mesh and change it to a stick. And there you go. Compile and save that. So now if you place these actors in the world, ingot and the stick, you get what they actually are. So you want to go ahead and do that for all of your items. So with all of your actors created, we can go ahead and do one more thing actually. Let's lift this up. With the actors created, we can go into the parent class, so item actor, and we can actually add physics to this. So select your static mesh and scroll down and do simulate physics. What this will do is this will make them drop down, and you can adjust the linear damping and the angular damping for how sensitive they are. Let's compile and save that. Now, if we play, they should all drop. So let's play and boom, here we go. So with that done, the next thing we want to go ahead and do is let's create a new folder for crafting. And we want to set up the logic for crafting. So let's go ahead, create a new blueprint structure. And the first thing we want is s_crafting recipe. Now, because we will use a 3x3 grid, so we have 9 squares, we just want to use 9 variables in here because every item will have the 9 variables. So let's not use an array. Let's just do this. And just to make this easier for ourselves, select the first one, make it a name, and add it 9 times. So 3, 6, 9. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. And we can name them. Do like slot 1 and just copy paste this everywhere. So once you're done, save and exit. And let's go to our next table. Right click, go to blueprint, structure. And in here, we want the craftable item details. So this will be very similar to what our items structure is. We'll do s_craftable item. So let's open that. And like we had in the item, we want the name, icon, quantity, and the recipe. So we'll add 4. We want the name, the icon. Instead of max stack size, we'll do the item quantity. So for example, if you're crafting arrows, you might want to get 5. And then we want a recipe. So the recipe is going to be the structure we just made. So s_recipe, what do we call it? We called it crafting recipe. So s_crafting recipe. And the item quantity will set to be an integer. Icon, again, texture 2D. Here we go. And whoops, did that set? It did not. Texture 2D. Object reference, I guess it's once that. And then the name will do simply text. So once that's done, save, exit. And like we did before, we want a table. So right click. This time I'll show you this way. We'll go to miscellaneous and we'll go to where do we have data table, and select this time your crafting item, craftable item. Okay, dt_crafting data, and open it. And in here we want 2 of the items that will be crafting. So in my case, it's going to be the iron sword together is the ID, and iron shield. Then we can go into the name and change that. So iron sword icon is the sword icon. Item quantity will receive 1 when we craft it. Now the recipe. So if you can imagine this in a 3x3 grid, we want 2, that's at the top, to be an iron ingot. So we'll do iron ingot, that's the ID. Then we'll do, what is it? 5 is in the center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's another one. Iron ingot. And then 8 is going to be the last one at the bottom. So this will be the stick. That's our sword. And for the shield, we'll do the same. Iron shield. We will do shield icon. Quantity 1. Now here we'll do sticks all around, and we want the centerpiece to be iron. So 5 is the centerpiece. Iron ingot. And then everything we just change to stick. So once we're done with all of your items, save and exit. So this is it for part 1. In the next episode, we'll go ahead and create the interaction system. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, leave a like, and as always, happy developing!